Here we go. First of all, it is so good to see all of you guys. I've missed you very much while I've been in kindergarten, and I can't wait to be back in preschool with you guys. And we are going to be talking about something that we actually did at the very beginning of the year, and it was called measurement. And we measured a couple of different things. I want you to turn to your partner next to you and see if you can think about what the word measurement is. And do we measure? Do you remember?
Our body.
Your body. What did we measure? Andrew, what did we measure? We measured our foot. Guess what? When we measured our foot, we measured how long something is. And I brought an example. This is exactly what we did. Does anybody remember or can demonstrate how we measured to see how long our foot? What do you think, Andrew? And Allie, what do you think? How did we determine what the length of your foot was? We traced it, and then what did we do, Sage?
We got you blocks to get together.
These little cubes, didn't we? And then what did we do? Does anybody remember? What, Mia? Okay, we had all the blocks on here. How can we tell how long our foot is once we have the blocks on there?
I know.
Oh, raise your hand if you have an answer. Corbin.
We counted them.
We counted them. Ready to count, everybody?
1,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we wrote on here 7. Kylie's foot is 7 cubes long. So that is one way to measure length. Does anybody know
My friend is 12.
what this is?
Oh,
okay. Raise your hand if you have an answer. It is called a ruler, and we can use it to measure things, right? But we can also use other things. I have a book called Fun to Learn Sizes, and it talks a lot about different sizes of things and things that we can measure, because measuring the length of something is just one kind of thing that we can measure, right? So let's see. I am thinking of a particular page called Long and Short. And some things, show me it with your hands, short. Short. Now show me long. Longer. Short. Long. Okay, so look at our book here. I see elephants in a line here, and I see elephants in a line here. Kylie, which elephant line is longer? Want to point to it? Is it this line or this line of elephants that's longer?
And we are here to tell you all about the word
measure.
That's right, measure. Now, I play football, and they measure all the time.
Oh, that's true. They use those orange chains.
Can you think of something else that you could measure with? We talked about a ruler. What was another thing that?
A potato.
A potato.
And a football.
A football. You're going to use cubes. Okay? So, for example, can I borrow your foot, Jack? You stand up right here. Stand all the way up. Okay. If I wanted to measure how long Jack's foot is using cubes, I would maybe start out by guessing, okay, 4. Do you think, can you see Corbin? Let's move this foot back a little bit so he can see. Do you think I need more?
Yeah.
I do. Okay. We'll add more on. What do you think? Do I still need more?
Yeah.
Should I put the whole thing? How about like that? Does that look about right?
Yeah.
One more? Okay, so does that look about right? So when you measure measure something, you have to make sure that the starting point is at the same. So if I'm measuring Jack's foot, I have to start my cubes down here to see. And then I count. Ready to count with me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Jack's foot is 10 cubes long. Who can recall what kind of measurement we are going to be taking a measure of today? Was it height? Was it length? Length. You are right, Allie. Now, can you compare two objects to see which one is longer or shorter? Can you compare that? Which one is shorter, Corbin? Okay, Lucy, which one is longer? Right. Lily, you're going to measure the basket first. I want you to put your cubes together to see how long your basket is. Okay, I want you to measure the scissors to see how long your scissors are. Okay, when you get it, then you count. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you're going to color in 6 squares next to your scissors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you got to measure right here and see. Okay, is that too long?
Yeah.
So let's take off 2. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so count how many cubes you have.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, so you have 7. So you take your red crayon and you look for your basket. You color in 7 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you tell me, or can you produce for me which object is the longest so far? Which one of your objects has been the longest so far? That one, right? Your blue paper? How many did you have? You counted 11, didn't you? So color in 11 squares. But it's tricky because you are going to measure these different objects. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different objects. You're going to measure it, and guess what you're going to do in the square? Does anybody know?
Color it in.
You're going to write the number. So you're going to be doing some writing of numbers in these squares. So if I were to measure the scissors with my cube, and I see that it's 6 cubes long, Andrew?
Yeah.
If I see that it's 6 cubes long, I'm going to find the scissors. And what number am I going to write next to the scissors? 6, because it was too loud. Ronla, can you tell me what the shortest object is? Yeah. Is it the black crayon is the shortest?
Oh,
Okay.
this is the biggest.
The orange is number 4, Jack.
Wait,
Write 4 next to your blue.
It's nervous. Leo's is so big.
It is. It's right up there.
Scissors are the biggest one.
So far, the scissors are the biggest. But guess what? You haven't measured this. So which do you think is longer?
I made
So different, 6 different objects that you're going to have to cut out on the lines, the pictures. You will have 6 objects. Next, Kylie and Andrew, you are going to glue into these squares the shortest, the next shortest, and then as it gets bigger, 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 and then the biggest or the longest. So it goes from shortest to longest, okay? And then after that, we are going to measure it with our cubes. So the first thing is we are going to cut our pictures apart. And I'm going to lay all of our objects out here so that you can see. I want you to look at our objects, and you will determine what is the shortest object and what is the longest. Okay? I want you to notice when I have these objects lined up for you to look at, Kylie, eyes on me for a minute. Pat, look, all of my objects have the same starting point. You have to make sure, Sage, when you're comparing length, that you start on the same edge. Now, I want you to look at my objects, and Aaliyah, can you tell me which one is the shortest? The black crayon. So find your picture of the black crayon and glue that on the top. That is your shortest object. Find the next shortest object. Okay, think to yourself so everybody can do their own work. The way that you can do it too is you can look to see what is the longest, and you glue that down at the bottom.
I'm doing that.
You go tricky, I know, right? Now you see how it's working?
And now we see which one is the longest.
Now, which is longer?
Pencil.
The pencil is shorter. Which is next? This is the shortest. Which is the next shortest, Pat?
Done.
Okay, so find your pictures. Who can recall what we measured today? We had 6 different objects. If you have an answer for me, raise your hand. Allie.
A pencil.
A pencil was one. What did we use to measure our objects?
Block.
Oh, Andrew's hands. Were they blocks or were they little cubes? Little cubes. Who remembers what the longest object was? That we
Paper.
measured? Oh, if you have an answer, touch your nose. Pat, what was the longest object that we measured?
Pencil.
A pencil? Did everybody think that? Does anybody have a different answer? Austin, what was the longest object that we measured?
The paper.
The paper. The blue paper ended up being our longest object. Okay, I'm going to pick a stick, and if I call your name, I want you to come up and demonstrate how we measured our objects today. Okay? Jack Prestia. Okay, here's the paper. Here's our cubes. Can you demonstrate how we did that? To count together to see how long our paper is. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Our paper was 10 cubes long. Nice job, Jackie. We talked about measuring with a ruler. We saw in the video that he measured with toothpaste. Did anybody think of something else that we could measure with? What do you think, Aaliyah? Bananas. What about you, Mia?
Blocks.
Blocks. Like these blocks right here? Yeah. Okay, everybody put your hands down. I'm going to pick a stick, and I'm going to call 2 friends. The 2 friends that I call, you are going to lay down on the ground next to each other. Your feet have to be at the same starting point, and then the 3rd person that I call gets to come up and measure. Okay? All right. Okay? So you're going to measure Patrick, and Austin is going to measure Lily. Yep. Good job.
Is Patrick's favorite color is green?
I don't know, but it doesn't matter. Does it all have to be green? No.
It can be blue too.
Hey, how many blocks do you have so far, Austin?
1, 2, 4.
Hey, do you think you need another one?
I'm not done.
Okay, let's see. Mia, how many blocks do you have?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, and then Austin, you're going to put your last one down. Miss Jan, will you take a picture? Oh, Jack, not your turn. Okay, how many blocks do you have, Austin?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So, Lily has 5, and Patrick is 5 blocks long. Which one is shorter? They're the same, aren't they?
Can
Are
we
they
do
the
measure
same?
now?
You want to measure Miss Tina? Oh, Miss Tina. I wonder if you're going to, let's make a prediction. Do you think Ramla is going to be shorter or longer than Miss Tina?
Shorter.
Do you think Ramla's going to be shorter? Okay, Andrew Sands, here we go. Oh, how long do you think Ramla's going to be? How many blocks is Ramla going to be?
5.
You think 5? What do you think? 6? Keep going. Do you have 6? How long do you think Miss Tina is going to be?
100.
100?
Yeah.
10? Pat, what do you think? 10?
100.
7. So who is longer? Miss Tina? Miss Tina is longer. Thank you, Miss Tina. You're welcome. Okay. Hi, Hi, this is Jill Goetsch, and this is my video reflection for lesson number 2 that I just taught today in for measurement and length in my preschool classroom. This is actually my first week in preschool. I've been student teaching in kindergarten the first 8 weeks, but I am the normal lead teacher in this room, so I've been away from these kiddos for the last 8 weeks. But I was excited to get back into the preschool classroom and see my kids. I know the focus is on the differentiated instruction, and it's pretty easy in our preschool classroom to set up a differentiated instruction in our room because there's a lead teacher, which is me, and then we have a special ed teacher in the room. We also have a para, and we have a speech pathologist, and we have 14 kids. So normally we have whole group learning, and then each day we also have learning groups. And the way that we do our learning groups is we divide the kids into 3 groups, and each of the speech path, the sped teacher, and myself each has a table that we're working on different things with, and the kids spend 15 minutes, and then I ring the bell, and they rotate through. So they have 45 minutes total of learning groups. So the way that I broke it out today was by ability with math, and so I grouped the kids that maybe needed more support or an easier task with the math activity first, and then I did the medium group, and then I did the more advanced group. So my first group, they all of my kids had the same 6 objects that they had to measure, and they all used linking cubes to measure the objects. But what was different was the lower group, I had like a 10 frame next to the object on their assessment sheet, and so they would measure it with the linking cube, and then they would color in the number of squares of how long that particular object was. And then my medium group was what they had to actually write the number of how long or how many cubes long an object was. So I incorporated some writing and having to know how to write numbers. And then the advanced group was pretty tricky because they had to cut out the objects and then glue them in order from shortest to longest, and then measure them, and then write the number. And I think that it all went pretty well, but the challenge that I faced that I didn't necessarily predict was really more with the advanced group, because they were looking at the pictures, trying to sort the pictures from shortest to longest, and they needed to make the connection that they weren't sorting the pictures, they were actually sorting the objects that I had laid out on the table and then finding that picture. So I had to demonstrate that. I lined up all 6 objects on the table and then asked, okay, which object is the shortest? And then they would say the black crayon. Now go find the picture of the black crayon and glue that on first. And so it took a couple of times of getting that, and then you hear in the video one little boy said, oh, I get this now. So I think that they really enjoyed having that activity because it was challenging for them, and it took a little bit to get the hang of it, but once they get the hang of it, they feel really proud of themselves. So I thought they did well with the differentiated instruction. I started out in whole group, and so I was able to ask different questions that were maybe easier, and then also some harder questions with blooms. And also I closed with whole group, and I reinforced kind of what they had learned by doing a hands-on activity with measuring with blocks, showing that you can measure things with other objects. And I collaborated with my sped teacher, and she was willing to lay down on the floor too with one of the kids, and we measured her with blocks as well. So I think what I would do next time, I overall really liked the lesson. I feel like the kids really learned a lot. They were engaged in learning, and I could see a difference from the beginning of what they knew to the end. So that was really positive. But the one thing that I think would be fun to maybe change for the next time is to have them have the opportunity to maybe go find something in the room after they measured the items that I had given them. Maybe they could go find something on their own to go and measure and be able to include that. I think that they would enjoy getting to be a part of finding something to measure. But overall, I really just enjoyed this whole unit with measurement, and I think I'll continue on in the next few weeks going on to height and capacity and weight as well, because they really enjoyed that. Thank you.